4 foods and beverages to significantly improve your gut health. Hey, I am Sophie. I love talking about gut health, digestive health. Why? Because you know that when your digestion feels good, when your gut feels good, you feel good, right? We now know there's this thing called the gut-brain axis, and it's a two-way system. And when you know how to feed your gut, which I'm going to show you today, really powerful foods and beverages to improve what's now called your microbiota, your gut microbiome. I call them mood foods because it immediately improves your mood and your brain fog and your energy and the way you feel. Now, it's a two-way street because your mood also directly affects your gut as well. So if you have chronic stress, much of the time, so many clients that I work with, they come to me and they have, IBS or digestive issues or bloating. And then we find with a combination of therapeutic approaches, one of which is food, but another which is mindfulness and release and meditation, because it's a two-way street. Your gut is also known as your second brain. Just think about it for a moment. If you had to do something that was really terrifying for you, so it's a sort of acutely stressful situation, let's just say you had to do a speech in front of 500 people and you hate speaking in front of anybody, and you get up that morning, you are going to either be bloating, constipated, or super loose stools, or growl. You're just going to, you're going to be in my gut. It's going to be here. You're going to be clutching your gut. It's not going to feel good. You're going to be making multiple visits to the bathroom because stress and mood and depression and anxiety, it directly affects our gut. So we need sort of both approaches. But today, I just want to dig into 4 different foods and beverages that you can start adding to your diet right away to significantly get some gains in the gut health department. So, number 1 is fiber. So you're going to hear this from just about every single gut health expert and doctor who really understands nutrition, or gastroenterologist who has done the research and the evidence-based scientific data research. They're all going to say fiber, fiber, fiber. And generally, most Americans are pretty deficient in fiber. And I'm not just talking about taking a fiber supplement every day. I'm talking about the only way that you can get all these beautiful different fibers in your diet is through plants. So it is really looking at moving in the plant forward direction, a whole food plant-based diet. But let's break this down so I can make it a little bit more details for you. So what you need is you need both soluble and insoluble fiber. They're 2 slightly different kinds of fiber, and you need both for a healthy gut, a healthy microbiome, for satiety, to make you feel good, to help you with weight release naturally without the use of drugs, which is I'm so passionate about because you actually can do it. And also many, many other things as well. Healthy, you can literally bring your cholesterol down, bring blood pressure down. So let's start off with soluble fiber. So soluble fiber, as it sounds, is a kind of fiber that you eat, and it's soluble with water. So it swells up with the water in your system and forms a gel-like substance. So this insoluble fiber has so many benefits. 1, it slows down blood sugar or glucose release. So when you're eating beautiful complex carbs, which you need to and should, it is your brain's preferred source of fuel and your body's preferred source of fuel. The beautiful thing is that soluble fiber will slow down that release. The other thing that soluble fiber can do is that it's like a sponge, and it can bind to cholesterol and unhealthy fats, ferrying them out of your system. Also, soluble fiber, I'm just about to go into insoluble, but soluble fiber is a great source of a kind of fiber that feeds the good bacteria in your gut. And when they are fed in the way that they need to and want to be fed, they produce short-chain fatty acids. These are metabolites. And short-chain fatty acids make you feel satiated after you eat. It regulates your appetite, again, without the use of weight loss drugs. You don't need to have your appetite wiped out by an injection. If you eat smartly, you can literally regulate your appetite. And also short-chain fatty acids, which is very important when we're talking about gut health, can help to heal leaky gut. And so many women that I work with come to me with leaky gut. And this is a really big problem, because if you have leaky gut and then you're eating foods that have toxins and endotoxins in, which unfortunately many foods do, that can leak through a leaky gut into your bloodstream, causing systemic inflammation. So all this to say is that you need soluble fiber. So where do we get our soluble fiber from? So mainly from legumes, split peas, beans, lentils, some whole grains, in particular oats and barley. Those are going to be some of your main sources, and I'll put an exhaustive list in the description to this video of, or a more exhaustive list of sources, foods that are termed under the category of soluble fiber. So you really need soluble fiber. You also need insoluble fiber. And why do we need insoluble fiber? So as it sounds, it's not soluble with water. If you think of a plant, it's the kind of fibrous material in the plant, but it gives bulk to your stool, which can really help with constipation and can increase or speed up transit time, which is super, super important. So we're talking beans, certain whole grains, we're talking nuts, and again, I will put a more exhaustive list in the description to this video. All right, beverage. Let's go on to a beverage now. So beverage is green tea. So you want to be drinking lots of water, you want to be hydrating really well throughout the day. But if you pick one drink, one beverage, one tea to improve your microbiome, I would absolutely go for organic green tea. So organic green tea, what research now shows us is that green tea is fascinating, can help to tamp down the activity of pathogenic, of harmful bacteria in your gut, so sort of get rid of the bad guys, or at least go, your activity is not welcome here in the gut, and can massively improve the life and the activity of the good bacteria in your gut. So start adding green tea into your diet every single day. I have 2 to 3 cups of beautiful tea. You could do, this is a loose leaf organic sencha tea. Oh my gosh, it's so delicious. And I drink a lot of beautiful loose leaf teas. You could also do a matcha tea. And the added benefit of having a matcha tea is it's the whole leaf that's ground into a powder. So you're also getting even more fiber if you have matcha. A lot of people love to make a beautiful matcha latte, or just have a plain matcha, or you can even add a little bit of matcha powder to your smoothie as well. But do make sure that you have green tea, okay? Number 3, fermented veggies. Now, fermented veggies, and this is a brand called Wild Brine, and it's just one that I happen to pick up at the store. We're seeing more and more of these fermented, sometimes known as cultured fermented veggies, but they are pretty easy to make. You can make them yourself, because they're quite expensive when you buy them from the store. And depending where you live, they may not have availability, you may not be able to find them. There are so many videos on YouTube showing you how to make your own fermented veggies. I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll do a video, but there are people who do it way, way better than me. So just do a search on YouTube, how to make at-home fermented veggies, and you'll get lots of great ideas. And there's kind of low-tech and there's more high-tech ways of doing that. But I do love my fermented veggies. Now, you need to watch the salt a little bit, particularly clients that I work with who have high blood pressure. We definitely want to rinse off the salty brine. So give it a really good rinse, and then you're getting the lovely cultured vegetable. Just one thing I forgot to say, actually, and this is important in my little #1 tip on soluble fiber, is not only can soluble fiber help to lower cholesterol, but it can also help to lower blood pressure. Forgot to say that. Okay, so we'll just do a little recap because I went off a little bit there. So #1 is make sure that you include soluble and insoluble fiber, 2 different lists in the description to this video. #2, green tea. #3, fermented veggies. Whether you buy them from a store or make them yourself is absolutely fine. You can also, there are also other fermented foods that you can start including in your diet, such as some people have yogurt. You can do a plant-based yogurt, or a regular yogurt, which obviously has all the the good bacteria in it. You could do a sourdough bread as well. If you are having bread, I generally recommend either a sprouted grain bread or a whole wheat sourdough. But if it is a sourdough, do make sure it's the real thing, because there's a lot of kind of fake sourdoughs. It's got the label sourdough in the grocery store, and you turn the package over, read the ingredient list, and there's like 10 to 15 different ingredients. The only ingredients you need in proper sourdough is you want a whole wheat or a whole grain flour, or it might have 2 or 3 different whole grain, ancient grain flours in it, but generally it is a grain, a whole grain, and then a starter, water and salt. It's just 4 ingredients. So that can also be another way to add a little bit of fermented, cultured foods into your diet. And then there's kefir, which can be great. There's water kefir, there's milk kefir, there's different plant-based kefirs as well. So that can be another really great source of fermented foods, which are really, really beneficial for your gut microbiome. Okay, let's go to #4. #4 is resistant starch. Now, you may have heard of resistant starch. It is, as it sounds, that it's more resistant to being broken down. So it slows down the spike of blood sugar. So it has 2 really great benefits. One, it slows down the blood sugar spike or glucose release, which is great because you can eat things like potatoes and rice in a better way by turning them into being a gut-resistant starch. And also, gut-resistant starch has been implicated in so many other different health benefits and can really help to improve your gut microbiome by way or by virtue of the fact that gut-resistant starches are also known as prebiotics. So you've probably heard of probiotics, and I'm sort of on the fence of whether they are useful or not. I think prebiotics are essential, but with my clients, we don't have to take prebiotic supplements because you can get your prebiotics from food. And so great sources of prebiotics would be a green banana. So have your bananas, but eat the banana when it's still green. It certainly hasn't got any of the little brown sort of cheetah spots on it. So green bananas are great. Chicory is fantastic. Asparagus. Also, let me just go slightly away from prebiotic fibers and let's just stick on the resistant starch, because you can change a rice or a potato from being something that's maybe not so healthy to being way healthier and even helping with weight loss by changing it into a resistant starch, and you simply do that by cooking it and cooling it. So if you're cooking any kind of potato, I prefer sweet potatoes and purple potatoes than white potatoes, just saying. But if you were going to have white potatoes, then just cook them, cool them completely, and you can reheat them. Because the cooling is what creates the gut-resistant starch. Okay, so when you heat it up again, it's still going to be gut-resistant starch. The same is true with rice. Just as a little bit of a side note on rice, you want to be a bit careful with heating and cooling rice. I think it's really safe to say that if you heat and then cool rice and you put it in the refrigerator, eat it the next day. Do not keep it beyond a day. You can freeze it, but don't keep it in the fridge or countertop beyond a day, because bacteria can breed in cooled rice. So you've got to be a little bit careful of that. So those are the foods and drinks that I want you to start thinking about including into your diet every single day now. And I'm just going to recap and go over them one more time. Number one is fiber, and lots of it in every single meal, not just once a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you need both soluble and insoluble fiber. And I will give you more examples of what foods constitute being a soluble or insoluble fiber in the description underneath this video. Number two, green tea. Whether it's loose leaf organic green tea or matcha tea or even oolong tea, but the benefits are there in the research that we're beginning to see in improving the health of your microbiome. Number three is fermented veggies, sometimes known as cultured veggies, or other foods. It doesn't just have to be veggies. Start looking at different ways that every single day you can get some kind of fermented food into your diet. I've actually just thought of one more that I use a lot, and my clients do as well, which is a fermented soybean, which is called tempeh. And that's a wonderful food because it's also very high in protein. Okay, number three is look for resistant starches, gut-resistant starches, also known as prebiotics. But the way that you can turn a starch into a resistant starch, we all know, if I said to you what are starchy veggies, you would go potatoes or rice. Yes, you're right, but you can turn them into a resistant starch by cooking them and then cooling them. You can either eat it cold or you can reheat it. And then there are other prebiotics, and a gut-resistant starch is a green banana. And then there are a host of other really powerful prebiotic foods, and I'll give you a more comprehensive list of those in the description to this video too. All right, so hopefully that is helpful. Again, I am so passionate about this because your gut is the foundation of your health. Or put differently, if you have impaired gut health, if it doesn't feel right, if there are issues there, then it's going to affect you systemically. It's going to affect your mood, your brain health. It's going to just affect you inside and out, top to toe. So make it of prime importance to start improving your gut health today. I'll see you next time.